Welcome to the Political Bridge. I'm Ada, your host. Today we're talking about a big shift in American politics. We're looking at the rise of democratic socialism. This idea is gaining more attention and sparking many debates. What does it actually mean for our country? How might it change our daily lives? We'll explore its policy ideas and what they could bring. We'll also discuss the concerns and hopes tied to this movement. We will hear from both sides of this important discussion. Our goal is to understand the different views clearly. We want to see how these ideas might shape America's future. Let's dive into this complex but important topic.
The idea of democratic socialism is a dangerous path for America. It promises a lot but delivers less freedom and less prosperity. History shows us this. Countries that tried full socialist policies saw their economies suffer. Sweden, for example, had slow economic growth for decades when it increased taxes and spending in the 1970s. They had to change back to market-based reforms to get their economy growing again. Democratic socialism means more government control over our lives. This includes things like healthcare, energy, and big tech companies. This control stifles new ideas and hard work. It also leads to higher taxes for everyone. Proposals for democratic socialist policies could cost trillions of dollars. Some estimates show $42.5 trillion over 10 years. This would mean huge tax increases for American families. We cannot afford to give up our economic freedom for these promises. The American dream is built on individual effort, not government handouts. We must protect our free markets and limit government overreach. This ensures a strong future for everyone.
The rise of democratic socialism is a response to real problems in our country. Many people feel left behind by our current system. They see huge gaps between the rich and the poor. Housing costs are too high, and healthcare is a struggle for many families. Democratic socialism offers solutions to these issues. It aims to make sure everyone has a fair chance to succeed. This means things like universal healthcare, so no one goes broke because they get sick. It also means affordable housing and stronger worker rights. These are not radical ideas. Many successful countries, like Norway and Denmark, have similar social democratic policies. They have strong economies and happy citizens. These countries show that we can have a market economy and still care for all our people. It's about putting people first, not just profits. We can build a society where everyone can thrive, not just a few.
Nico, you've painted a picture of economic decline and high costs. Jordan, you've highlighted social needs and successful examples abroad. Let's dig deeper into the economic impact. Nico, you mentioned Sweden's past struggles. Can you explain more specifically how democratic socialist policies would hurt the average American's wallet and job prospects today? Jordan, how would these policies be paid for without crippling the economy or leading to massive debt?
Democratic socialist policies would hit American wallets hard. They would mean much higher taxes. Imagine a nurse, a warehouse worker, or a retired teacher seeing their paychecks shrink. This is to pay for vast government programs. For example, a Medicare for All system without copays or deductibles would require huge tax increases. It's not just taxes on the rich. Everyone would pay more. These policies also create less incentive for people to work hard and innovate. If the government controls major industries, there's less competition. This means fewer new businesses and fewer good jobs. When government gets too big, it often becomes inefficient. High administrative costs eat up money that could go to people. This leads to less economic growth overall. It means fewer opportunities for you to get ahead. We've seen this in countries where the government takes over too much. It hurts everyone in the long run.
Nico, you're focusing on fear, not facts. Many democratic socialist policies are about smart investments. These investments help everyone. For instance, universal health care means families save money on medical bills. They won't face bankruptcy from an illness. Free college tuition means young people don't start their lives buried in debt. This allows them to buy homes and start businesses. These are not handouts. They are ways to strengthen our society. We can pay for these programs with fair taxes. This means asking the wealthiest people and big corporations to pay their fair share. Right now, many rich people pay a lower tax rate than middle-class families. A wealth tax, for example, could help fund these vital services. Studies show that countries with strong social programs often have healthier economies. They have less poverty and better education. This creates a stronger workforce and a more stable society for all.
Nico, you stated that democratic socialism stifles innovation and competition. However, many democratic socialist countries like Norway and Sweden are known for their strong economies and high quality of life. How do you reconcile that claim with the success seen in those nations? Jordan, you advocate for higher taxes on the wealthy and corporations to fund these programs. But critics argue that this could drive businesses away and hurt job creation. How do you address that specific concern?
Ada, it's important to understand the difference. Countries like Norway and Sweden are often called social democracies, not democratic socialist states. They have strong welfare programs, but they also have largely private ownership of businesses. Their economies are market-based. They keep business freedoms high. This is very different from the democratic socialist goal of social ownership of the economy. When government takes over industries or heavily regulates them, it reduces the drive to innovate. Why would a company create new things if their profits are taken away? This leads to fewer choices and lower quality for consumers. It also means fewer jobs in the long run. We must remember that their success comes from market principles, not from socialist control. The core keyword phrase, democratic socialism, aims for a different economic structure entirely. That structure has a poor track record.
Nico, the idea that taxing the wealthy drives businesses away is a common scare tactic. The truth is more complex. Many factors decide where businesses operate. These include access to skilled workers, good infrastructure, and a stable society. Democratic socialist policies invest in these very things. When we have universal education, we create a smarter workforce. When we have good health care, workers are healthier and more productive. These are benefits for businesses, not burdens. Plus, a fair tax system means everyone contributes to the common good. It stops the race to the bottom where companies avoid taxes. This allows them to exploit workers and the environment. We can have strong businesses and a fair society. It's not an either-or choice. Many European countries show this. They have high taxes but also thriving economies and strong social safety nets. They prove that democratic socialism can work within a market system.
This discussion has highlighted a key tension. Nico points to the distinction between social democracies and democratic socialism, emphasizing the role of private enterprise. Jordan argues that investments in social programs create a stronger foundation for businesses. The core of this debate seems to be about how much government involvement is too much, and what kind of economic system truly balances prosperity with fairness.
We need to be clear about the long-term vision of democratic socialism. It's not just about a few social programs. It aims for a systemic change, moving away from capitalism. This means more government control over the economy. This shift would undermine the very foundations of American prosperity. Our system of free markets and individual liberty has created more wealth and opportunity than any other. When government decides who gets what, it creates a political market. This means people focus on getting favors from the government instead of creating value. This leads to less efficiency and more waste. It also makes it harder for small businesses to thrive. We must protect the freedom to innovate and take risks. This is what drives progress and creates jobs. The promises of democratic socialism sound good, but the real-world results are often less freedom and less prosperity for everyone. We must learn from history and choose a path that truly empowers individuals.
Nico, democratic socialism is about making our economy work for everyone. It's not about destroying capitalism. It's about fixing its flaws. We can have a dynamic economy that also ensures basic human rights. Things like healthcare, education, and housing should not depend on how much money you have. These are essential for a good life. When people have these basic needs met, they are more productive. They can contribute more to society. This strengthens our economy from the bottom up. It also means less crime and better public health. The goal is to reduce extreme inequality. This helps everyone, even those at the top. A more stable and fair society benefits all businesses and all people. The rise of democratic socialism shows that Americans want to change. They want a system that values human dignity and shared prosperity. We can achieve this through democratic means, building a better future together.
Jordan, you often point to Nordic countries as models, but their economic success isn't solely due to their social programs. It's crucial to examine their approach to entrepreneurship and innovation. While they have robust welfare states, these nations also maintain highly competitive market economies and actively foster a strong business environment. Sweden, for example, ranks highly in global innovation indexes. But this is coupled with significant private sector investment in R&D and a culture that supports startups. The democratic socialist proposals for extensive government control over industries and wealth redistribution could stifle the very entrepreneurial spirit that drives innovation and job creation in the U.S. If the government becomes the primary driver of economic activity, the incentives for individual risk-taking and groundbreaking innovation diminish. We risk losing the dynamism that has historically made the American economy a global leader. Furthermore, high taxes on wealth and corporations as proposed can lead to capital flight and discourage businesses from investing and growing here. This isn't just a theoretical concern. Countries that have implemented such policies have seen these negative consequences.
Nico, your argument overlooks a critical aspect. The social safety net in Nordic countries actually enables entrepreneurship and innovation. When individuals have universal health care, affordable education, and robust unemployment benefits, they are more willing to take risks, like starting a new business, because the fear of catastrophic failure is significantly reduced. Studies suggest that a strong social safety net can increase entrepreneurial activity. For instance, Norway consistently ranks high in innovation and ease of starting a business, despite its strong social programs. These policies create a more secure and educated workforce, which benefits businesses by providing a stable and skilled talent pool. It's not about government control replacing private enterprise, but about creating an ecosystem where private businesses can thrive without exploiting workers or the environment. The idea that businesses flee due to fair taxation is often exaggerated. Many factors influence location decisions, including access to skilled labor and infrastructure, which democratic socialist policies actively improve. A healthy, educated populace is an economic asset, fostering long-term prosperity and innovation for all.
We've heard compelling arguments today about the rise of democratic socialism and its potential impacts. It's clear that both sides see different paths to a better future for Americans. The debate centers on the balance between individual liberty, economic growth, and social well-being. Thank you, Nico and Jordan, for this insightful discussion. You can find more information and resources at tpbridgepod.com. Join us next time for another engaging discussion. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep bridging those political divides.